Hi friends, today I'll be doing the initial ownership review of my bike, Classic 350. It's been 8 months with this bike and I've covered about 7,386 kilometers, and now I've decided to do an ownership review of this bike. Let's start up with the tires. The front tire is a MRF Zapper 90 by 90 and the rear one is a MRF Zapper 110 by 90. So if I show you the front tires now, you can see that it looks quite big on this bike because it has a big fender, but when you look at it on the Thunderbird, you will know its real size. It's so puny on this bike. Such a big bike getting such a small tire. On the rear tire, you can see that it's a 110 by 90 and it looks quite big compared to the front tire. Now, when talking about the performance of the tires, on dry tarmac it's good, but on wet tarmac you will realize its true flaw. You will feel like you are riding on ice sheet if you are decelerating from 60 and above on wet conditions, on wet roads. So next, talking about this big headlight here, it's a 55 watt halogen bulb, so the illumination is quite good, especially even in the low beam. On the high beam it's very good, and you don't have to actually change the headlights to HIDs or anything else. The stock setup is quite good enough, and it has 3 pilot lamps, one there, and another bulb inside here. I don't think you can see it that clearly, but it's there inside. You can see it now. That bulb, small bulb there, is the 3rd pilot lamp on this bike. So there's one advice that I would like to give you guys on the headlamp. Please do not use this headlamp when you're going in crawling traffic or slow moving traffic in the night, because if the headlight is switched on, it consumes a lot of battery, and starting up the bike the next morning would be a problem. So in slow moving traffic you could use the parking light. That's more than enough, because when you switch on the parking light, even the rear light would switch on and you can be seen by others, so it won't be such a problem in slow moving traffic. But if you are going fast, you can be using the light without a problem, and that will be clearly shown on this ammeter here. When you are using the headlight in slow moving traffic, it will be deflected almost half towards this end, which means that it's draining battery a lot. Ideally it should be at the center like this, and in slow moving traffic it will be at the center only if you are in the parking light. So that I wish you could take care. And then the switch gear, it's pretty neat and just like you would be finding on all bikes. Nothing fancy here. You can find the indicators, the horn, and the pass light here, and here's the engine kill switch, the lights, and the electric starter, and that's the brakes. For more information about the brakes, I have discussed it in the video on braking technique on this bike, so you can check that out. And I have clearly discussed about the brakes in that video. Talking about this clutch, it's quite a heavy clutch. You can see the action is quite heavy and not as light as you could find on a Yamaha or a Honda bike. It's a little lighter than the Mojo, but when you are going in stop-go traffic, you will really feel the pain in your palms. And now let me make you listen to the horn. You can hear that it's very loud, and it's one of the loudest stock horns that you can find on a bike in India. And then the mirrors, and these are classic chrome mirrors. I've added this thinking that it would absorb some of the vibrations on this, but unfortunately there is no effect. Maybe I'll have to remove it because it's not showing the kind of effect that I would have wanted it to have. This pretty decent chrome mirror, just like you will find on all classic bikes, and the view that it offers is also quite good, but unfortunately because of the vibrations its use is very limited on this bike. And then the fuel tank, although it looks very beefy, it's just about 13.5 liters in capacity, and the range on this classic 350 could be around 500 to 550 kilometers, because it provides a decent mileage of around 38 to 40, and on highways it could be much greater. And here is the seat. The seat is very soft and it's very wide, enough to accommodate your whole bum. So, and the rear seat is also quite soft, but since I ride alone always, most of the times I ride alone, so the seat is still hard on my bike. The front seat is very soft now. And then talking about the engine, I have discussed more of the engine and its vibrations in the video titled how to reduce handlebar vibrations in your Royal Enfield. But there is one thing that I would like to talk about the engine here. The torque on this engine is exceptional, and probably at the end of this video I will be giving you a demonstration of the torque. The bottom end torque on this engine is one of the best on a 350cc bike that you could be finding in India, especially when you compare this with the Mojo. The bottom end torque in the Mojo is not as great as the one on this one. It can pull off from zero even in the third gear, and I'll show you a demonstration at the end how this bike pulls. And then this is the air filter box. So talking about the battery itself now, this is a 12 volt 14 Ah battery, and I don't know if it's big brand or something, but the battery is quite weak, and I don't suggest you to add any other setups on this bike, like using different lights or adding projectors on the crash guards. So I don't suggest that, because the battery will get drained very quickly then. So this is the storage. Here you hardly get any kind of storage. Half of the space is eaten by this toolkit here, and I suggest you to keep it in a plastic cover, otherwise it would rust off easily. And you can see that this is the only space that you get for storing anything. Documents you can put it here, but the space is very limited. And there is one problem with this storage box is this does not get rubber seals like the one you find on 500. So if you wash it with high pressure, there are chances that it will leak and the water will leak inside, and your documents, if you don't keep it in a cover, might get wet. And then the sari guard, this comes fitted with the sari guard itself, and this has a decent capacity. I have taken loads of almost 10-12 kgs on this stand here, footrest here, and it could take it quite easily. And then the suspension. This suspension has an 80mm travel and is adjustable. Can twist the shockers here and adjust the suspension. And the front suspension has about 130mm travel, but I have a problem with this cap here. This keeps hitting the fender, and you can feel that sound of that kind of bottoming when you go over bumps. But the ride quality is really good on this bike, and small bumps you don't even feel them. And then talking about the star attraction on this bike, the engine sound. The major reason for this sound, that the beats that this bike gives, is this silencer from end to end is made of stainless steel. There is nothing else on this. You can clearly see no plastics, no rubber, no absorbents, no damper, nothing. Just a big stainless steel pipe. And on the stock silencer, the hole is quite small. So if this part gets cut out and you reveal that big hole there. So it's natural that the sound gets only much louder. So I'll show you the beats. So the engine is warmed up now and you can clearly hear the beats on this bike. And this has got one of the best idling sounds on any bike in India. And this is the main reason why people fall behind this bike. The other main reason is the torque. So this is the first main reason and the torque is the next reason. And here the sound. So if this pipe was made up of anything else other than pure stainless steel, it would not have given this kind of sound or this beat. So now I will be giving you the quick demonstration of the bike's torque. Okay friends, in this video I will be giving you a demonstration of the torque on this bike. So see, now I am not twisting the accelerator much, but just look at how it's pulling and see. I haven't twisted the accelerator much, but just see the way it pulls. That is exceptional, and that kind of low end torque can find only on bikes with a long stroke and a smaller bore, and that's why people treasure the Royal Enfield, and that's what people often describe as the feel of riding a Royal Enfield. So let me show you again. See, now I am not twisting, now it's at zero throttle, and now just look at the way it pulls, and that is the feeling of riding a Royal Enfield. That is the torque that you get on this bike. And not even the Mojo, which I assume is quite a competitor to this bike, not even the Mojo can produce bottom end torque the way this bike produces. Now this is an uphill. Let me show you again. It doesn't care whether you are in an uphill or a downhill, just pulls. This bottom end torque comes in really handy when you are riding up the hills, and it can pull loads very easily because of that great bottom end torque. And now I will be giving you another demonstration of the bottom end torque, and this would be quite a different one. I told you that this bike could pull from zero even in the third gear. So on this stretch I will be showing you how it can pull from the second and third gear from zero. So let me make a U-turn here and then I will show you. There's quite some traffic today, so I'll have to wait. Now it's clear for me. Okay, so now I'll be doing the demo. Presently it's in first gear, now the second. See that it could clearly pull you off without any kind of trouble. So now I will demonstrate the third gear pull. See, in first gear, second, third. just look at the pull. That's the bottom end torque on this bike, and that kind of torque I don't think you'll get on any other bike that comes in this price category. The sound and this torque, these are the two main brownie points for this bike, and the two main features which distinguish it from its competition. Just look at this, it's uphill, but it pulls as though this is just any other straight road. And this is the main reason why you see mostly only bullets on the Himalayan terrains. So that's it from my end, friends. This was my short initial review of this bike. I'll post a comprehensive review once I get past around 15 to 20,000 kilometers. So thank you for watching.